with Pat McAfee yesterday.
We have to have patience. A lot of these guys have not played a ton of football, and really it's not something that could have been figured out in training camp or some off-season throwing session. These are live rep things with the pressure of a regular season game, with the pressure of it counting, and that's why I'm not too worried about it. There's a lot of talent on our side of the ball. We just gotta execute a little bit better.
All right, so Jerry's telling you one thing. Do you believe him, Chris Canty, when he says he's not too worried about it?
No, I don't believe him. And if you saw the eye roll and the Kanye shrug that he had after the Christian Watson drop, that tells you all you need to know about Aaron Rodgers' confidence level in his young wide receivers. I don't know that he has the temperament to be able to bring these guys along and build them up in order to the Green Bay Packers to get to where they want to go, because they're going to need those wide receivers to come around at some point if they're going to contend at a championship level. My biggest issue with Aaron Rodgers is, bruh, you the one that created this situation. Because you throwing a tantrum and acting like a toddler when they drafted Jordan Love is what opened the door for Davante Adams to decide, you know what, I'm better off with Derek Carr rather than staying here with the back-to-back MVP, even though Green Bay offered me more money than the Las Vegas Raiders did. So if Aaron Rodgers is frustrated, the person he should be most frustrated with is himself, because his behavior is what allowed Davante Adams to walk out of the door. And by the way, did you see how Davante Adams looked on Sunday?
Yes, I think he's the best. He's the best non-quarterback playing football in the entire NFL. That wasn't English, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say. You played with Rodgers.
Yeah.
Does he have the temperament to? It's Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson. They're going to need these guys.
Yeah.
Does he have the temperament to bring them along?
He does, but I will tell you it's not patience. And everybody who thinks it's patience, show me a patient quarterback, I'll show you a mediocre quarterback. That's facts. Like, all the great ones, they don't got patience, bro. It's win now. Development happens in the offseason. We're going to get this thing done. Week to week, we have to show progress, and you better be getting better. And listen, Davante Adams is gone, bro. We can think about what could have been, should have been, whatever that looks like. Right now, he knows what is required of his receivers in the building. That means catch the ball. That means be in the right spot. And again, what he's talking about, that development, some of those things will come. There's some that has to be now. And it's your job description. Catch the touchdown when it hits you in the hands, right? If you're in a play, make the play that's there to be made. All of those things matter to him, and he's 100% right. We can talk about OTAs, all that kind of stuff. Man, when you go into a game, it's completely different. So if you're patient, you're losing. That's just a fact. I'm just telling you, no great one. Ask Tom Brady, or ask any receiver play how patient Tom Brady.
Well, you played with Manning.
Peyton Manning.
How was Peyton with all
Good,
that?
man. Watch him in games. Watch a dude run the wrong route. He almost ripped his pants. He's like flicking his knee pad. You know, he's freaking twitching. You know, Aaron does the eye roll, but they all got something, right? You know. The great ones drive you to be better than even you think you can be. And that's Aaron Rodgers' job to his receiver. Make them better than even they think they can be.
That is fine. That's all well and fine. MJ did it. MJ, he was a jerk with his teammates. I get it. But Aaron Rodgers, to Chris's point, is the reason that Davante Adams is
okay, but hold on a second.
No.
That is fair. That absolutely is fair.
It is.
That absolutely is fair.
Here's the thing. The Green Bay Packers said, you know what? We'll just sit and we'll just wait for Aaron to tell us what he's going to do. We'll just sit. Yeah,
sure.
Davante wants some money. Yeah, but no, we're just waiting on Aaron. No, Aaron will tell us at some point. And all that waiting, all that uncertainty, now other pieces on the chessboard have to move. Davante moved on, right?
Yep.
So Aaron Rodgers wasn't there in the offseason, wasn't there. You say, oh, forget about OTAs. All right, you got new young receivers. Like, what did you expect? The Green Bay Packers put themselves in this position.
So that's the point. Here's what
I
I'll
expect
say.
them to be able to catch.
But here's the thing, Christian Watson, if you look at his scouting report, there was mention of concentration drops. He had more drops than he had.
And so is Aaron Rodgers going to teach him how to concentrate?
But here's the thing, they went out and drafted him. So clearly, you trust your scouting. You think this kid is going to be good. But at the same time, this organization put themselves in this position, so it has no choice but to be patient.
But the one place that I'll agree, while I agree with what you're saying, it also is water under the bridge at this point. That can't be undone. So the question is, can he make it work? Can even the great Rodgers, they're going to get Lazard back in the tackles, can he still have this team in Super Bowl contention? Because that's all that matters for him and them.
I absolutely think that he can. And I think that he's going to be relying on the defense living up to the talent that they have over there. Sometimes teams change. This is no longer going to be an Aaron Rodgers score 80 points a game type of team.
Right.
They're going to have to play better defense and trust that Aaron Rodgers can come through in the clutch, which he absolutely can. And I know that we don't have time for this. I'll fight with you two in the commercials. But it is categorically unfair. You blame this roster construction on Aaron Rodgers. He has power and leverage, and he used it, and nothing's wrong with that. If he don't want to show up to extra stuff, he don't have to show up. You get paid to do your job. You do your job. You want to do extra stuff? Do extra stuff. Stop coming on here yelling about Aaron Rodgers need to do more than everybody else. It's just not fair.
Okay, hope that the Cowboys believe he could return as soon as 4. And Jerry Jones, as usual, has high hopes for Dak's return.
I have seen it just look hopeless and walk out there and David slay the giant. I've seen it done. And at the same time, we play, get by us a little time here, catch it up a little bit, get Dak back out there. He's very capable of coming past this injury and having a great season, I emphasize that. If he didn't have it and we didn't have it, it would be different, but we do.
All right, so Jeff Saturday and Dominique Foxworth have both been in lengthy negotiating sessions with Jerry Jones. That's a speech you've heard before, isn't it?
Listen, this is what I see. I see wrestling. I see Undertaker. Pop up! We're back, baby! We're back in action! I mean, we were on life support, not clear paddles were given. Dak is back. There ain't nothing better. There's nothing better than Jerry selling you 1 + 1 is 3, y'all. In my world, I got to be in that, y'all. He is right there. He is motivating this team. And listen, it's a fact. Without Dak, their season is over. He's just selling the hope, and he's doing a good job at it.
All right. In the meantime, Kimberly Martin actually does the reporting. And so the question is it realistic that he could be back on the field? Everything I've seen on our screen, it says 6 to 8 weeks. Mm-hmm. Is it realistic that he's back and within 4?
Is it realistic? Yes, because I'm assuming Jerry Jones is not out here trying to be Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman or Dr. Phil.
Why would
Dr.
you assume
Oz.
that?
I'm going to hope that there are trained doctors and professionals talking to Jerry Jones and giving him this intel. But is it a possibility? Yes. The fear, though, it's his throwing hand. The fear, though, is that this is the franchise. So if he rushes back and something happens, then you have a setback. And that's the fear. I think there is pressure on Dak because, like you said, this season hangs in the balance and it rests on that hand.
You know, we were together, Dominique, you and I, when Jerry first made those initial comments yesterday. We were all taken aback by it. I know you expressed a lot of concern. Now, you've had a chance to sleep on it.
Yeah, you talked about negotiation sessions. One of the things we negotiated for is the right to a second opinion, and I hope Dak gets it.
Yes, second and a third.
Yeah,
second and a third.
And I hope the fans, I hope that they are not listening or at least not believing what Jerry is saying, because the definition of desperation is making biblical analogies in week 1. Like, we are already cracking open the good book. Like, he gonna turn water into wine. He gonna feed 5,000 people too.
Yeah.
Like, I think that would be easier to do. I think Jerry has a better chance of turning water into wine than the Cowboys making some sort of championship run this year.
Look, it is worth reminding everyone, Jerry Jones actually said 1 and 1 is 3.
Absolutely.
So
I don't know what kind of new math that is.
Well,
that's billionaire math.
That's correct. When you're a billionaire, math can be whatever you want it to be. But
it's abstract.
Chris, all kidding aside, and it's impossible to do at this table, how are you concerned? How do you see the situation right now?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think Jerry is talking out of school because we've seen quarterbacks deal with this particular injury in recent years. Think about last year, Russell Wilson having a thumb injury, having to have surgery, missed 3 games. A couple of years ago, Drew Brees, similar injury, you're talking about him missing 5 games. So that 4-game window, that's right in the range of what we saw those other 2 quarterbacks deal with. So even though the initial prognosis was 6 to 8 weeks, there is the potential for Dak Prescott to push it. And the one thing we know about Dak is that he's a top competitor. He'll do whatever it takes to get back on the field and try to help this team salvage the season. The only problem that I have with this is, did you see the first 3.5 quarters of that game on Sunday night before Dak Prescott got knocked out?
Yeah.
You're talking about the Dallas Cowboys having, 12 first downs? 12?
Yeah, it was
Nobody had fewer first downs. Yeah. Nobody had fewer points in week 1 of the National Football League than the Dallas Cowboys team. So, Jerry Jones, congratulations. You played yourself by allowing all of those guys on the offensive side of the ball from last year to leave the building. Yeah. Connor Williams, the highest graded Miami Dolphins player this past week.
Yep.
He was playing center for him. You're talking about Lyle Collins, cap casualty with the Cincinnati Bengals, trading Amari Cooper, letting Cedric Wilson ride out. Yep. What did you think was going to happen? You were asking Dak Prescott to do more than a quarterback is capable of in terms of being a force multiplier, which is what landed you in this situation right now with your quarterback dealing with the injury after week 1.
Chris Canty brought receipts. It's like he's Robert Saleh all of a sudden.
Please don't put me in the same sentence as him. I actually won in New York.
Wow.
At any rate. All right, so that's
Write
where
that
we
down,
begin.
Robert.
We have a lot more to say about Dak, but there is another quarterback who's got entirely different kind of problem, and that is Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. We've seen it. He and the Packers wide receivers very much not in sync Sunday, and that includes, of course, the drop heard round the world on this, the very first offensive play of their season by the rookie Christian Watson. Rodgers was also sacked 4 times in Sunday's loss, more than in any game last year. It was a rough day, and Rodgers had